Celtics and Cavs, they kept it spicy on Saturday. J.R. Smith and Aaron Baines got tangled up, exchanged some words after. Then Marcus Smart comes in and gets into it with J.R. Both J.R. and Smart have to be restrained by their teammates. Smart gets tossed as J.R. then waves goodbye to him. Here's Smart and J.R. after this game.
Told him come back to the back, you know what I'm saying? All that on the court, we can handle that off the court.
You can't flop as much as you do and then be tough. Like, how does that even work? And then, like, you start swinging your teammates. Like, you didn't come to play basketball today.
So the feud continued on social media afterwards. Once JR heard Smart's comments, JR responded on Twitter, "Meet me on the street. Damn, the back." And then, of course, the NBA had announced that Smart will be fined $25,000 and Smith $15,000. So, Kevin, is this fair punishment?
Fines are always tricky relative to salary. This is what I call the smart tax. And the smart tax is you have one of the most passionate, infectious players in the league, and Marcus Smart, whose teammates love him, whose coaching staff loves him, who, relative to his skill set, brings as much intensity to a game as anything, and that is why he makes $13 million a year, even though he quite possibly cannot shoot a basketball. Yep. But every once in a while, you got to pay the toll. Yeah. And the toll is why is this guy escalating a preseason incident in a game that he wasn't actually directly involved with initially when Baines hooked Smith and they got a JR anyway.
I just love that this is a preseason game in the first week of October, and there are fights coming out after a little mini brawl. Yeah. And these guys are talking about meeting each other on the street. The fact that there's this much intensity, even if Smart is a little insane, is an awesome thing for the league. I had no problem with the fines, but it is hilarious that it already reached this point.
Well, and of course, there's Tristan saying that it still goes through Cleveland, right? So there's that issue with these two teams as well. Tristan talking about where the Eastern Conference needs to go through. But time for our daily installment. Yes, Dances with T-Wolves. The Jimmy Butler saga continues, and according to Woj, the Heat and T-Wolves had a deal in place, but of course, the deal fell apart again on Saturday. Here's what I heard about the latest exchange between Tibbs and Riley, okay? So on Thursday, I was on the show, and I said that Pat Riley may or may not have told Tom Thibodeau to get his bleeping house in order. I was told that Pat Riley may or may not have ended the most recent conversation with some more expletives with bleepity, bleepity, bleep, you bleep. No surprise here, my guess, Nick, as you've dealt with Tibbs, because it seems like Tibbs may have gotten a little greedy after the deal was already in place.
No, George, you're kidding me. Really? Tibbs wanted a little more than he thought he could get? I'm stunned. I'm really stunned. No, if you're Tibbs, though, and you know that if you don't make the playoffs this season, and I don't believe they will, no matter what they get back for Jimmy, if you don't make the playoffs, you're gone. You're hanging on as tightly as you still can to the possibility, however faint it may be, that Jimmy could come back and still be a part of this team in Minnesota this season. So I don't blame him for wanting more. Right. I think it's going to be Glenn Taylor, the T-Wolves owner, is going to have to come in and say, hey, Tom, sit down. This is done. We're going to go through it. Yeah, well, and him and Mickey Arison had gotten it to that point, and then Pat apparently and Tibbs tried to reengage. And you buy this, right? Like, you buy Pat mother bleeping him on the way out again, because you were around him for a number of years. I mean,
we very well remember the statement in New Orleans.
Yes, the Boston Celtics. Danny Ainge, go bleep and manage your own team.
No doubt. I mean, by the way, I don't think there's a better, more stylized profanity speaker in the league than Pat Riley.
Oh, there isn't, and he is, and it's still the greatest press release.
It's like Al Swearingen on Deadwood.
But is this inevitable, basically, Jimmy Butler?
I don't know if it's inevitable. So I'm looking at the calculus from Tom Thibodeau's position. As he said, as Nick said, whatever, if they make a deal, they're screwed, right? They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to get fair value. So So why not gamble a little bit, even if there's only a 12.5% chance, a 1 in 8 chance that Jimmy will come back and be engaged and they can smooth this over, which I think is highly unlikely. Right. But if the alternative is, well, you're going to get a poor deal and you're not going to extract the assets you want from Miami, I mean, why not milk the clock until your owner comes in with a baseball bat into your office and says,
potentially that could be a real scenario.
Make this deal. Because I mean, why not if you're Tibbs? I mean, what does he have to lose? It's a bad deal, or maybe I can use my infinite charm.
Right. He may get fired anyway at the end of the season if they don't make the playoffs.